Hey everyone, CVA here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to talk about Keith Flint, one of the singers from the band The Prodigy. On March 4th, 2019, Keith Flint killed himself by hanging in his home in Dunmore, United Kingdom. For those CVA Army members out there that know that I'm a huge fan of The Prodigy, this hit me hard. Waking up one morning and seeing this message on my Facebook feed really bothered me. I've been a Prodigy fan since '96, so this really hit home. You're probably asking me, why the hell are you covering the CVA? This isn't a crime. Suicide is. And you know what? Keith Flint was one of my favorite musicians of all time. Keith Flint was struggling with divorce, depression, and drugs at the time of his death. His wife, who he was separated with, was not even in the same country as him at the time of his death. She was on tour in Japan. The warning signs for suicide were so clear that it was 100% predictable that Keith Flint was going to kill himself. One of his best friends even mentioned that he was planning to kill himself after the band was done. Quote, "When I'm done, I will just kill myself." There were subtle notes that the band, The Prodigy, was planning on retiring in the year 2020, which actually kind of hurts my feelings, to be honest with you, because I haven't been able to see them live yet. But with that warning sign there, plus his wife divorcing him, it was just way too obvious that he was going to try something. His house in Essex is a 1.5 million euro house. That is huge. That's over 2 million American dollars. And he loved that house more than anything. It's even in his neck of the woods in his hometown. And his wife wanted him to sell it. He wanted to get rid of it. So he put it up for sale a few weeks before he killed himself. You know, it really upsets me when people kill themselves, because there's so many different options you can take. When you are that low in your mind and in your heart, when you're that low that you're ready to end it all, you're free. Think of it like that. Yes, of course, you can kill yourself. That is the freedom you have. Every single person on this earth has the freedom to kill themselves, but you also have the freedom not to. That sounds a little douchey, I'm sorry, but the truth is, when you're that low, the only way you can go is up from there. You can do anything you want. Dye your hair, change your name, move to a different country, move to a different state. You don't have no money. Get a job anywhere, anything you want to do. You're completely free. And that's the way I feel when I hit my lowest in my life. I'm finally at the point where I can do anything I want to do. And money can't buy happiness. And we see that with all of these famous, amazing, talented people killing themselves. Chester Bennington, Chris Cornell, Keith Flint. We have all of these famous people offing themselves, and they have all the money in the world, they have all the fame in the world, they have so many fans, but they just aren't happy. Okay, I gotta stop ranting and stay on topic. Sorry about that. Someone commented on the Prodigy Facebook page something that really stuck deep into me, and I'm gonna read it. Quote, "Killing oneself, anyway, is a misnomer. We don't kill ourselves. We simply are defeated by a long, hard struggle to stay alive. When somebody dies after a long illness, people are apt to say, with a note of approval, 'He fought so hard.' And they are inclined to think about suicide, no fight was involved, that somebody simply gave up. This is quite wrong." The quote comes from Sally Brampton. What it comes down to is he was battling with suicide, battling with depression his whole life. The band kept it together. The only reason Keith Flint didn't kill himself in the 90s or early 2000s or 6 months ago was The Prodigy. Once The Prodigy announced they were going to retire, that was the first indicator there that he was in danger of hurting himself. Second indicator, his wife wanted to leave him. They were separated. She was on tour by herself in Japan. She's a DJ. Third, he was by himself and was back on drugs. All these indicators, and no one noticed. But let's be honest, nobody is just always looking for signs of suicide. Keith Flint, the last few days of his life, he actually ran a marathon, a 5K, and he did really well. He ran a 21:22. That's 21 minutes and 22 seconds 5K. That's actually pretty good. And he was even in a relationship with a local dermatologist. And she's came out and said that she is just absolutely devastated with his suicide, and she knew nothing of it. The mental health of this planet right now is so far gone. It is so depressing. because I'm not saying he had the best life ever, but he had a pretty damn good one that the average guy like me would just absolutely adore to have. But you know what? When you look at it like that, I bet you he wish he had my life. So you gotta find happiness at everything you do, whatever you do. You can't be envious of other people, just be happy with who you are. One sad note to add to this is that over the wall, Keith Flint had 8 dogs. And as you see in this picture, though, he had a nice wall over his house, and the dogs needed to be taken care of. So Keith's close friends had to hire maids to come in and take care of the dogs. And only a few days after his death, the dogs were known to be barking and crying, missing their owner. Such a heartbreaking, terrible tragedy this is. Keith Flint, if you're out there in the ether, I miss you. You're one of my favorite musicians of all time. I am always going to be a fire starter. I'm always going to be an instigator. You are deeply missed. Rest in peace. Well, CVA Army, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave me a subscribe, leave me a comment. What's your favorite Prodigy song? True Crime Community, CVA Army, take care.